Every night at exactly 11:43 p.m., a small boy appeared in the top floor window of the abandoned building across the street. The strange part wasn't that he never moved. The strange part was that the entire floor had burned down over 10 years ago. My name is Ethan, and for 3 years I lived in a small apartment block in East London. Across the street stood an old Victorian building. Most people barely noticed it anymore. Its top floor had been destroyed in a fire back in 2014. The damage was so severe that the entire floor was permanently sealed off. Nobody had lived there since. At least, that's what everyone believed. One cold November night, I was making tea in my kitchen when something outside caught my attention. A figure was standing in one of the top floor windows. A child. He looked about 9 years old. Pale skin, dark hair, an old grey sweater. At first I assumed someone had broken into the building. But something felt wrong. The boy wasn't moving. Not even slightly. He simply stood there, staring toward my apartment. I watched him for almost a minute, then I blinked, and he was gone. The next night he appeared again. Same window, same position, same expressionless face. And the night after that, every single night at exactly 11:43 p.m. After 2 weeks, curiosity got the better of me. I searched online for information about the fire. Most of the articles were ordinary, until I found an old newspaper archive. One article included photographs of the victims. There had been a child trapped on the top floor, a 9-year-old boy named Oliver. The moment I saw the photograph, my stomach dropped. It was him, the exact same boy I'd been seeing every night. I tried to convince myself it was a coincidence, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. A few days later, I mentioned it to one of my elderly neighbors. The moment I described the boy, her face turned pale. She stared at the abandoned building and quietly said, "You're seeing him too." I asked what she meant. She told me several residents had reported seeing a child in that same window over the years. Most people ignored it. Some moved away. Others simply refused to talk about it. When I asked why, she gave me an answer I'll never forget. Because eventually, he notices you noticing him. I laughed nervously. At the time, it sounded ridiculous. I wish I hadn't laughed. That same night, I looked toward the building again. The boy was there, but something had changed. For the first time, he wasn't looking toward my apartment window. He was staring directly into my bedroom. That should have been impossible. From where he stood, he couldn't even see that side of my apartment. Yet somehow, he was looking right at it. The following night was worse. At exactly 11:43 p.m., the boy appeared again, and slowly, he raised one hand, then pointed directly at me. My heart nearly stopped. I stepped away from the window and closed the curtains immediately. Just after midnight, my phone vibrated. A notification from my apartment security camera. Motion detected. Inside apartment. I opened the footage. The hallway appeared empty. Then a small shadow crossed the screen. A child-sized shadow, moving toward my bedroom. The video ended. I searched every room, every closet, every corner. Nothing was there. The next evening, another notification appeared. This time from my living room camera. I opened the image and froze. Standing beside my window was the boy. The same boy from the abandoned building. The same expressionless face. The same grey sweater. I grabbed my keys and left the apartment immediately. The next day, I decided to find answers. I entered the abandoned building through a damaged side entrance. The inside smelled of dust and old smoke. Floor by floor, I climbed toward the burned top level. When I finally reached the apartment connected to the window, I found something strange. The room was completely destroyed, except for a small wooden chair positioned directly in front of the window. Resting on the chair was a child's drawing. The drawing showed two buildings facing each other. One was the abandoned building, the other was mine. A stick figure stood inside my apartment window. Watching, at the bottom of the drawing were 3 words: "I see you." At that exact moment, I heard footsteps behind me. Small footsteps, slow footsteps. I turned around, nobody was there. But when I looked back toward the chair, the drawing had disappeared. I ran. I don't remember reaching the street. I only remember looking up one final time. The boy was standing in the window again, watching me, but this time, he was smiling. I moved out a week later, and I never went back. But sometimes, late at night, I still receive motion alerts on my phone. The cameras from that apartment were disconnected years ago. Yet somehow, the notifications keep coming. And every image shows the same thing. A small boy standing silently by a window, waiting for someone to look back. If you saw a child standing in the window of an abandoned building every night, would you keep watching? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more true-style horror stories.